I have a son-in-law. He was 29 years last April, the 10th of 2005. And me and my wife were on Cumberland Island. We knew he'd been sick, but the doctor thought it was just a viral infection. And they called us, our daughter called us while we were on the island. And she said that he'd just had a bone marrow tap, and they said he had leukemia. 89% of his cells were cancer. Well, we got off the island, drove back to Cartersville, which took us about 6 hours. Got home about 1:30 in the morning. My wife laid down for 2 hours and headed up to North Carolina. As she got there, she called me that morning after the doctor come in, and she said, "Honey, he's bad." She said, "He can't get out of bed. He can't even hardly lift his arm. The doctor said he's got maximum 3 weeks to live, probably only going to make it 2. We got to help him get his affairs in order." And when I hung up with her, I was depressed. They've been married 5 years. Well, a friend of mine called about a minute after my wife hung up. And he said, "What's the matter, Tim?" I said, "My son-in-law's only got probably a couple weeks to live. My wife don't think he'll make it that long. He's got a rare type of leukemia, and he's going fast." He said, "Tim, there's something will help him." He told me about Immunocal. I said, "How do you spell it?" He goes, "I don't know." I go, "Where does it come from?" He goes, "California." So I said, "Well," I said, "anything's worth trying." So we got our other daughter on the internet. She found out it comes out of Montreal, up by Montreal. And she did research on it real quick. She said, "Dad, this looks promising." So I said, "Order it." I gave her my credit card number. I said, "Have them overnight it because we need this immediately." On Monday, they did his bone marrow tap. His red blood count was down to 4. The doctor said, "I've never personally known anyone that's recovered when it's got that low." And he said his cancer cells being 89% in the bone marrow, that's as bad as being 100%. We got the Immunocal Tuesday afternoon. He took it one time then, he took it 4 times Wednesday, gave it to him once Thursday before they drew his blood. When they came back with the results of the blood work, it had went up 2/3 of a point where it had been going straight down. The doctors, though, said, "Don't get excited. It could be cancer cells reproducing." But on the following Monday, when they drew his blood again, it was up to 5.85. Well, in 2.5 weeks, he was out of the hospital. He had strength. His infections were gone. In fact, it's funny. He had been on the Immunocal about 4 or 5 days, and we didn't know what was happening with the cancer. We just knew he was feeling better. He was able to get up out of bed and go to the bathroom on his own, which he had to use a bedpan before. The doctor came in. I wasn't there, but my daughter said the doctor came in, and he was in the bathroom, and he goes, "Where have they taken him?" She said, "Nowhere." He goes, "Well, where is he?" She said, "He's in the bathroom." He goes, "How did he get there?" She said, "He walked." And the doctor said, "How?" So Andre's come out, and the doctor was amazed. They had not told the doctors we were giving him Immunocal. So 2.5 weeks later, they let him leave the hospital. Now that, at the 2-week point, we were there on Sunday morning when the doctor, main oncologist, and about 6 interns came in. I asked her what she thought about the Immunocal. I thought she knew about it by then. She didn't know anything about it. Well, I showed it to her, but she did no research on it. But one of those interns did, and I don't know which one it was, but that was Sunday, we were there. He came in Monday. He handed my daughter a prescription. He said, "This is for 4 packs a day." And he looked at her husband and he said, "Whatever you do, do not quit taking this product." He said, "With this prescription, us saying you need it, possibly your insurance company will cover it." And he said, "Keep taking it." Well, a half week after that, he was out of the hospital. His infections were gone. They had disconnected the IVs and everything. 5 weeks after he started on the Immunocal, they did another bone marrow tap. Now, I didn't go up for it, but my wife did. She called me, and I thought it was bad news. She says, "Honey, they just did the bone marrow tap." And I'm going, "Oh, no." I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "Nothing. He's cancer-free. They can't find any cancer in him." And I said, you serious? She goes, yes. They told him he can go back to work. You know, they wanted to start chemo on him immediately. He told them no. He said, if the cancer reoccurs, I'll consider it. But he said, if the cancer's gone, why should I have chemo? The doctor says, well, just to be safe. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. He did agree to a chromosome check every 2 months, because he said that's where the cancer would first show up again. And this is May, so last April the 10th here was a year ago, and every time he gets the chromosome check, it's fine. And he has more energy. I just thought our son-in-law was real laid back, but evidently he's had this coming on, because he's got energy like a normal 29-year-old now. I mean, he gets up and does things. He used to come home from work, sit down, and he'd go to sleep. Or he'd eat supper and go to bed. And now, he's got energy. He does things. He's on the go.